there was an explosion in Youngstown, Ohio. Now, I am familiar with Youngstown, Ohio. I got some people that's in my family, or some people that married into my family that is a part of Youngstown, Ohio. I heard that it was a huge explosion based off of a gas leak over at a Chase Bank in Youngstown, Ohio. Let's take you there and let's fill you in on what's going on out in these streets, man.
Now, the deadly bank explosion in Ohio. Stephanie Ramos is on the scene in Youngstown, Ohio with the latest on the investigation. Good morning to you, Stephanie.
Robin, good morning. The explosion happened at the building behind me. It blew glass and debris all over this area. Look at this mangled mess. That was a Chase Bank. Police say several injuries have been reported, including one death.
This morning, authorities are trying to figure out what caused an explosion in the middle of downtown Youngstown, Ohio.
I was coming down and I heard a huge explosion. I saw smoke.
That sounds crazy.
The blast happened Tuesday afternoon at this 12-story apartment building that includes a Chase Bank on the street level. Emergency responders racing to the scene.
My firefighters went floor by floor, clearing that building to ensure that no one else was in that building and no one else was hurt.
Overnight, first responders were covering the body of a 27-year-old man who worked at the Chase Bank. Police say 7 people were taken to the hospital, one of them in critical condition.
We have no idea what caused the explosion. We know it did a lot of damage to the bottom of the building.
Ron Flaviano was working nearby when he witnessed the explosion, capturing the aftermath on camera moments later.
You see explosions on TV, and all I could think of was 9/11 with the smoke and the dust and everything just on a much.
Come on, fam. Stop it, bro. Stop. Okay, listen, I understand that it was a huge explosion and all of that over there in Youngstown, Ohio, but stop with all of that. All I can think of was 9/11. You're doing a bit much, sir.
Smaller scale. It was just glass, smoke, paper, and all kinds of stuff just coming right out of the building.
Authorities are urging people to avoid this area as they work to determine what caused the blast. But so far, police say there is no evidence of any suspicious activity. Michael.
I believe that it was a gas leak, but let me see. And let me look at some of these other news reports in order to try to figure this out.
We want to go now to Youngstown, Ohio. Take a look at some of this incredible footage that we were getting in right now.
That looks insane. Man, condolences to whoever it was that died as a result of it. I heard that it was maybe 2 people and 7 injured as a result of it. I wonder what happens to everybody that lives in the upstairs apartments that's right above where the retail level is at his bank.
It's quite something. This is in Youngstown, like I said, there, and we were learning about a massive explosion earlier this afternoon at a Chase Bank there, right in the downtown. So this is what we know at the moment. Dramatic video there on the scene after what appeared to be a natural gas explosion at this Chase Bank in downtown Youngstown. It injured about 7 people. Now, if you're familiar with Youngstown, this was the first floor of a 13-story building. This was on East Federal. It blew up around 2:45 p.m. local time this afternoon here. So you can see video from the scene. We have more video as well. Take a look at this.
Crazy. And you just so happen to wake up and go to the bank that particular day, or you was going to work or whatever, or you go into your apartment building that's right below that, and then all of a sudden it's just a gas leak and an explosion and your whole life is upended.
The entire
life is so precious, man. It's so precious. That's why I keep telling everybody to live it like we keep talking about the rapture or, oh man, it's the end of times or whatever. Man, the end of your time may be tomorrow. And so I'm living it up today. I always tell my wife, and I tell the people that surround me, is that I want to spend 99% of my time focused on the things that I actually care about and enjoying and creating great memories. And 1% of my time, 1 to 2% of my time fixing the things that I don't necessarily care about other people. I'm not about to waste my whole life or my time that's on the internet or in social media or on these live streams complaining about people that ain't doing this or people that hate me and all of that. Man, I'm spending my time trying to get the most out of this lifetime.
Looks like first floor completely blown out of that Chase Bank. Crews pulled people from a building, took them to the hospital following this explosion. You see there that Chase Bank is located in the bottom of the building. Now, a representative of Chase Bank, according to Fox 8 Cleveland, said they're in contact with local officials to check on the safety of everyone in the building. And after that, they will assess the damage. Those in the area reported hearing a loud boom, followed by smoke and the smell of gas as well there. So that's quite something. And so if we do get, because this video is kind of percolating on social media, the moment of the explosion, we'll make sure to bring you some of that video. But according to other reports, 7 people were hospitalized, including 1 person in critical condition. That's according to Mercy Health Hospital in Youngstown. The Youngstown Police Department has told people to stay away from this area here. Officials are also now working to determine the structural integrity of the building. Authorities believe this was a natural gas explosion, but hopefully we'll get some type of press briefing on how exactly this all transpired here. So we want to also listen to some people there down on the ground. And you can see here, let's listen to that.
And said that he heard on the news that someone is still in the building. His wife said that he was in the building. The worker said he was in the building, but they cannot find him. The basement is full of water and the electric is still on down there, so they're waiting for Ohio Edison to come in and turn it off so they can get downstairs and see if he's downstairs.
Okay, and so the last question, you can just talk to me. So when you were standing over there, the police came up to you and said what?
The police came up to us and said to please move farther away because that building can come down at any time.
Wow.
Okay, so that individual, that witness there in downtown Youngstown, essentially saying what we had just reported, that police need to assess the structural integrity of the building. They are urging people to stay away from the area as well, because like that witness said there, you just don't know if the building...
Let me see something else real quick. That look insane, bro. That's crazy. Nope, I'm moving immediately, and I'm getting the heck up out of there. You could see the basement over on the right-hand side, towards the middle bottom right-hand side, right below the Chase sign, and you could see the basement of the building. And they say it's water and the electrical was still on in there. Man, that I would not want to be a part of that.
An explosion rocks downtown Youngstown. This is a look over the Realty building on East Federal Street. You can see debris everywhere and first responders working to control the situation.
Look at the basement.
And this is video just moments after the blast. You can see the front of the building completely destroyed, the windows gone, and you can see clearly right inside. That is why we're joining you tonight on WKBN 27 and on WYTV 33. Good evening. I'm Brandon Jaycees.
I'm Lindsay Watson. In the last 20 minutes, we've learned that crews are still actively working, telling us everything they're doing is strictly search and rescue. Here's what else we've learned about the situation over the past 8 hours. The first emergency call came in just before 3 o'clock for an explosion at the Realty Tower on East Federal Street. The building houses apartments on the upper floors and a Chase Bank on the bottom floor.
If it's 2 unaccounted for, then you know what that means.
7 people were rushed to the hospital. 1 is said to be in critical condition. 2 people are unaccounted for, and police are asking that everyone avoid the downtown area. Now, people all over downtown Youngstown felt and heard that explosion. Our reporters were spread throughout the city, bringing you the breaking details during First News at 5 and 6.
And tonight, we continue our team coverage with the latest developments on this investigation. First News reporter Jacob Thompson joins us live downtown with what he's learned tonight. Jacob.
Brandon, Lindsay, good evening. First responders are still investigating that gas explosion that rocked a downtown building. Now, even at this hour, crews are still out working, removing some of that debris. The streets here in downtown Youngstown, many of them are closed, and it's unclear at this point when they were open. Just before 3 this afternoon, an explosion rocked downtown Youngstown. It badly damaged the Realty building along East Federal and sent people running for help.
We had a natural gas explosion. Just looks like the first and maybe the second floor was involved in the explosion.
First responders rushed to the scene.
And my firefighters went floor by floor, room by room, elevator by elevator, space by space, clearing that building to ensure that no one else was in that building.
Well, listen. prayers up for everybody that was affected. You can replace buildings, you can replace money, but you can't replace lives. Well, I guess that's debatable too. But yeah, man, prayers up for everybody in Youngstown. I hope that everybody turns out, or mostly almost everybody turns out okay. It looks like they still have some people that's unaccounted for. Be careful, man. That's not anything that anybody could have controlled as far as like on an individual level. It's just life. That's just how things play out, I guess. Anyway.